Hi there, this is Crystal, and I'm back with another layout in a traveler's notebook. So this is a new traveler's notebook. You probably haven't seen this because I haven't shared it. This is a book all about coffee. It's actually coffee from last year. So it's a 2018 book all about coffee. I printed out all of the coffee photos that I wanted to document from last year, and I'm putting them in this book. So the cover I just stamped with a bunch of different coffee stamps. This is something I totally scrap lifted from Diane of Dearly D. She did a coffee traveler's notebook and did this exact same thing on the front cover. So I'll link that down below so you can see her take on this idea. And I've done a few pages, but I'm not going to show you those just yet. Right now I'm working on this photo, and I have the April Make It a Venti kit, Life Crafted kit from Citrus Twist Kits. I have not used this kit at all yet, so I'm excited to put it to good use. You can see there is some bleed through from the previous page here, some splatters and some stamping, and even you can see the back side of the journaling card that I used on the other side of this page. These are super thin pages. This is a traveler's notebook insert from Freckled Fawn. And I like them. They hold together really well. They're very sturdy, but the pages are very thin. So if you do any kind of stamping or anything like that directly on the page, you usually have to cover it on the other side. So anyway, I am just going to dig into the kit and get started. So first thing I'm going to do is just look through the papers and cards and try and pick out what I want to use on this spread. Because this is a brand new kit to me, it does take me a little bit longer than normal just to pick out all the things I want to use. I like to look through everything to make sure I've chosen the perfect bits for this spread. You can see all the cards there. I really love the kits this year. I've been a subscriber for just over a year now, and I really loved last year's kits as well, but these Life Crafted kits this year are just perfection. I love that they're themed. I love all of the little bits we get. That black and white polka dot paper is definitely my favorite from this kit, and I will end up using pretty much all of it on this spread. I wish I had a few more sheets of it, but oh well, I'd rather get it used than have it sit in my stash and hoard it. So I'm just going to look through all of the die cuts. Again, the die cut packs that are in these kits are just so packed full of things. Like, they are just so full. There's so much there. So it does, again, take me a few minutes to go through all of it and see what I like. This is where the page kind of takes a turn. I take off that gray paper and decide to stick with the yellows and black and whites, along with a little bit of that kind of light teal blue color that's in my photo. There's lots of that in the die cut packs and in the stickers, so I end up using a few of those along with the others. I'm just going to continue looking through all of these, and you can see those puffy stickers underneath the little container I'm using to sort through the die cuts, and I love those so much. They are my favorite part of this kit, and I will definitely use every single one of those. So I went back to the papers and grabbed that yellow kind of gingham print because I had chosen that kind of black and white and yellow theme so far. So I wanted to add a bit more yellow to the page. And I'm looking at the chipboard as well, just again going through everything, making sure that I see all that there is in this kit and don't forget about anything. That was the stamp, that was an add-on. Also very much in love with that stamp. Okay, so this is pretty much how the page is going to come together. I'm just going to start kind of layering things up, and that's right there. That's what it's going to look like after I trim down my papers, which is what I'm about to do next. So I was just measuring to see how wide I needed to cut the paper. I can never remember how wide these papers are, so I have to measure every time. But I get it measured and I trim it down, and I'm going to use that little extra strip that I cut off on the right side of the page just to tie in that polka dot and to use up that whole paper, since I don't want any of it to go to waste. I am also just cutting a little chunk of that yellow paper to use as layers behind my photo, just to, like I said, bring in more of that yellow color on that side of the page. So I really like how things are looking so far. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing things down. I'm just kind of putting the layers down and making sure that everything lines up the way I want it to. When I create layers like this, I'm mostly looking to make sure that none of the edges line up perfectly. So I want all of the edges of all of the little elements to be offset just a little bit. That just makes it look a little more pleasing to my eye and a little less structured, a little more like that's just kind of how they landed on the page when you put them down. So I went ahead and glued all of that down. I had to change glue runners, of course. It always runs out when I'm taking a video. I'm also looking at the stamps. I know I definitely want to include a few stamps. So these are the stamps that came in the kit, and I'm going to add one on that label that I've added to the bottom of the photo, and that one says time for a refill. And then I think that might be the only one I add to this page. There wasn't a whole lot of room. Everything else pretty much had something already on it, so I went with just that one. I added a few staples just for texture and a little bit of interest to the layers at the bottom of my photo. Now I'm checking the date because I couldn't remember what the date of this photo was, and I know I want to add the date stamp on the other side of the page. So again, just gluing things down, adding that polka dot paper to the right side, and I don't get it in the right spot, but luckily with this glue runner you can peel things up if you don't wait too long. So I really love that tag and the little bit of that yellow kind of gingham pattern that it adds to that right side of the page. And this is going to be my title. It's a die cut from the ephemera pack, and it just says fueled by caffeine. And then I added another die cut below it that says a dose of gumption, and that again just brings over some of that blue color to the side of the spread. So now it's time to look at these gorgeous puffy stickers. I decided to add a yellow one to the bottom of the label there, and that one says life starts after coffee. And I'm going to also add my date stamp to, again, to that label that I added to the tag. And then I'm going to add a little yellow coffee bean to the left-hand side and a little star above my title. And then that's it. That's going to be it for this spread. It came together really quickly. There are a few close-up photos coming up. I hope you enjoyed this process. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all back here very soon.